At Les Page Field, the seniors will be recognized just before the first pitch, and the first pitch is scheduled at 11 o'clock. So we got a little time to kill, and who better to kill them with than Hall of Fame coach Tim Nonte. And Coach Nonte, obviously we always appreciate it whenever you come up to join us, but I know today is the day that you truly enjoy because you get to come back and talk to a lot of those people probably haven't seen in years who have helped contribute to a Hall of Fame career.
Well, kind of emotional. I came into the park looking for guys with dark hair, and I found more with less hair and gray hair. Yes, several of them. I haven't seen in a while, and I appreciate their wives.
Let me put this microphone a little bit up to you.
All right.
You're not used to talking into a microphone, I know, Coach, but
I never met a microphone I didn't like. But I appreciate the guys making the effort to come back, and special appreciation to Mr. Mullen for honoring the kids in the baseball program. This is a first that we've had the guys back, and I'm sure that they'll enjoy it. Each of them, I know, were picking up this outstanding spring sports program that Mr. Mullen and others put together, and then same situation for the basketball program. It's just really a level up for information.
Well, the one common thread of these regional championship teams isn't even you, Coach. It's Lee Kavanaugh over here, Coach Kavanaugh, who was with all of those teams. And I'm going to ask you, let's see, as delicately as you can, talk about Coach Kavanaugh a little bit. I know actually he meant so much to the program, but at the same time, I know you guys had a lot of fun, and winning breeds a lot of fun. What good stories do you have about Coach Kavanaugh?
Well, he was a big help in all games except when we played Bar Reef.
A big help for Bar Reef.
And, he helped the guys get back to bases and everything. We had a kid picked off, and he's hollering, get back, get back. And we'd worked all week on pickoff moves. Jimmy Riggins had it down pat, and somebody cropped up and warned the kid to get back, or we would have had him. It's a good thing Bar Reef never beat us during those times. But and then ground balls. He was old school. He liked to go down on one knee, and had to send him to several baseball clinics to show him that going down on one knee locks you up. But Lee was invaluable. His life surrounded the coaching, and if he'd lose a JV game, then he was pretty tough to live with. But
he lost any game. He's pretty tough to live with, is what my guess is, yeah.
A good friend, hard worker, and old school. And
he blames you for one of those JV losses at Bloomfield. You told him to let me pitch and get experience, and I ended up throwing too many curveballs, and I think we ended up getting beat that game.
We blamed you so for some varsity losses.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, that's probably true, but just invaluable.
Oh yeah,
as a friend and a hard worker, and I should have followed his example though on investing and buying farms and things. See, my life was coaching. I had no idea that he was preparing to be a multi-millionaire along with coaching baseball. So anyway, but just as I say, Kavanaugh and our basketball program, baseball program are kind of synonymous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, just think about it, guys. 40 and 45 years later, you two, Lee Kavanaugh and Tim Nonte, are credited for obviously the building blocks of basketball and baseball. And to be recognized even today, not just recognized, I mean, you can't mention baseball and basketball without mentioning Tim Nonte and Lee Kavanaugh.
Absolutely.
And that's got to be a special feeling.
Well, it is, but, we worked hard, extremely hard, a lot of time. But then we had good parents, and we had good kids, and we were the coach. We didn't have to worry about a trainer 50 miles away telling the kid this, or a hitting instructor making $300 for working with a kid 10 sessions, questioning what we were doing.
Right.
And if the kid went into a slump, it wasn't the coach that messed him up because he told him things that a trainer didn't tell him. So back then you were the coach, and parents let you coach. They hurt just as bad as the parents do today. but they stayed out of it. When you disciplined the kid and you ran his butt, or you set him out, or you brought him in early, they may have not liked it, but they kept their mouth shut, and honestly, 99% of the time, it worked out for the best.
Well, there's no question, too. No question.
And that, all that's changed. And so that was the key. When they came in, they supported every kid. They didn't just support little Susie or little Johnny and clapped. And they didn't holler at the coach. They didn't confront him as you were leaving the park. And sad to say, in all communities, sometimes this is what's happening.
Right. You know, I look at this field, Coach, and 1977, the first year here, Coach Mike Wagoner and myself, we were on that team. And, you know, tell us a little bit about behind the scenes how this got built, because we just showed up at this beautiful castle and played, not even thinking about everything that had to go on to get this place, and 30 years later, 30-some years later, still looking beautiful.
Well, you know, on the plaque down below it has listed those responsible. Primarily the people responsible were Dr. Dust and Mr. Page. We have some things here that I would have disagreed with, but we changed those. Coach Wagner allowed some of the old ball players to come in, and we changed the dugouts, who were basically Babe Ruth-type dugouts. I think Coach Wagner would agree if we were allowed to kind of do it over, our fences would have been a little far back. But other than that, it's just a beautiful facility. And, you know, you guys, I probably took you up to the rock pile to take infield once in a while when I felt like you really didn't appreciate what you were playing on down here.
We did that. We did that, yeah.
Hey, guys, here's what the other kids did.
Right.
And then you come back down here with this beautiful facility. But it's a tribute to the community. But Dr. Dust, Mr. Page, they got her done in spite of some obstacles.
Talking to Hall of Fame coach Tim Nonte, the 73 and 74 regional championship teams, 82 and 83 regional championship teams recognized just a little bit earlier. Coach, we're going to ask you to stay along with us for a few innings as we bring some ball players up and have some memories. And Coach Kavanaugh, I'd really like you to put this on for just a moment. He really didn't want to talk too much, but
want to mess up his hair.
No, but he is so critical to the program, and I do want to get his input. I mean, I know it was a long time ago, Coach Kavanaugh, when we had all that great success. But if you can pinpoint those years, if you think back those years, and let's talk 73, 74 right now, and the biggest memories that you had from those ball clubs. Remember, mostly playing over at that rock field that you were talking about at Costello Field a little bit ago.
Well, I appreciate, again, Mr. Nonte. He finally said something good about me, so I'll reciprocate. But when you have, good leadership, and like he said, to parents and so on, we're very supportive, and a lot of hard work. Why, it made it a lot easier to come up with some good teams. And, of course, we had some good ball players at the time, too. No question.
But fundamentals, that's what you guys were known as. Didn't matter if it was basketball or baseball. That's what we grew up with. And I see that today, too, the fundamentals. But back then, you guys drilled it into us. I mean, if we didn't get in front of that ball and block it, and today they don't teach that. I'm not talking about the high school level, but the major leaguers, that's what they talk about, the shortstop coming around and feeling the ball.
Backhand.
That wasn't us.
That's all we knew. We didn't know any other clever drills. I'd ask Lee before practice what do you think we ought to do, and he said, well, ground balls. So.
And the key is not to tell the kids, demand that they do it.
Yeah.
And then time after time. I'll give a good example. Mark Riggins, as great as what he has done in the last, 15, 20 years. Remember, he went to the field, ball was careless. He just reached with one hand, fumbled it, lost the game. What did Mr. Nonte do? Next practice, 100 times he had to come out, feel the ball, and throw it to first base.
Well, I'll tell you a case given myself, and it wasn't you coaches, but it was what you instilled. D.D. Crane was at first base. We were just doing infield. And D.D. throws ground ball to me, and I guess I was sort of lackadaisical, picking it up, just throwing it across. He yells at me, get serious about this, and I did. I don't think I ever became more lackadaisical, but there was a senior, and obviously the coaches have to instill that senior leadership, and that's so important. Because if you don't have those coaches on the field, it makes it more difficult as well.
Absolutely. Like I say, I appreciate Tim on not only demanding, but creating the leadership in the program where you just felt like you were a winner. You were going to win.
Lee, I don't know if I care for that word demanding. I don't think that was ever my personality.
I kind of like that word myself. I don't know.
I can vouch for the word demanding.
Yeah.
Hey,
Two hands.
I can't lie.
Coach Kavanaugh can too.
I thought I felt like I asked the kids to do these things. If they wanted to do them, it's kind of optional.
Oh, we didn't know that. Yeah.
Like riding on the back of that dragon, so bad you couldn't even see the tractor.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those early teams that had so much success. I mean, you look at the talent of those teams, and I said somebody this morning the 1975 team might have been one of the best teams you had, but obviously didn't make it out of the sectional. And the 73 and 74 teams, wow. I mean, we were talking yesterday, Coach Steve Sheets, behind the plate. I mean, we've had some great catchers at Loogootee High School, but how fun was he?
He made it enjoyable.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he, 73, winning the regional plan in Sema State was great. Then we come back in 74 and won the regional again, although not everyone was happy about that. But Sheets, my first year, we had some kids use some poor judgment that were involved in baseball and then weren't. And so we had some average kids. And I look back at my 30 years, and that was probably one of my most enjoyable years. We weren't very talented. But Sheets was a part of that, and we had him in the outfield, and he had trouble. Had him on the infield, and he had trouble, and asked him if he ever caught. No. So he put on the equipment, and he was a natural.
Yeah, didn't know any better, huh?
And he would go through a lineup one time, and he had that hitter.
Mm-hmm.
I never called pitches. I didn't want to take that away from my catcher and my pitcher. They're responsible. You learn by your mistakes. And Steve would go through the lineup one time, and buddy, he had them pegged. And so with 73 and with 74, yes, we had some talent, but okay, Lee, Lee demanded that talent work.
Well, let me add one thing. Seemed like any time that we go to the state in basketball, the kids are either burnt out or they're tired, and I think that had a little bit to do with it too. I think even maybe last year in our baseball, we were projected maybe to go a little bit farther.
Mm-hmm.
Not taking anything away from the coaches, but the kids are just a little bit tired from all of that competition.
Right. And they play a lot more games now.
Playing during the summer, which maybe back then didn't do as much of, so no question about that.
Well, I think when the baseball season started, our leadership was our basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
Our other kids that didn't play basketball, they had leadership ability also. And they were ready and eager to show that when the baseball season started. We weren't that demanding with the basketball guys because they needed to rest. And during those glory years, I mean, that was tough on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it may have not seemed like it, but I backed off the basketball guys till about halfway through the season. And the baseball guys, they were our leaders. And in all honesty, they were all leaders.
Right.
When you took the field to play, it didn't make any difference if we were playing Jeffersonville or Shoals. We weren't going to get beat.
Mm-hmm.
I think the confidence that the kids have, that was part of it. And, we almost took it for granted.
Right.
It got spoiled in my early years. When some of my good pitchers graduated, I wasn't as good a coach. And the same thing happened at Princeton.
Well, but you were good enough, obviously, to get into the Hall of Fame. But how much does it still stick in your craw that you never made it to that state final in baseball that you came oh so close in 1973?
Well, you chase that dream, and there's something to do that. Now, I made it in Legion baseball, and, it's quite a thrill. But I think you need goals. You need something to chase. I don't think Mike went into his basketball season this year with we finally made it. Now it's fine. He went in with the same intensity that they always have. And I don't think Coach Butcher went into any of the basketball seasons, even in June and July, with, we made it, we're going to go easy here now.
Right.
And so chasing that goal, and kids need to have goals, whether they're academic, you at your job, you still have goals. And that's the magic. chasing it. You know, our drug of choice at Loogootee was competition. You know, our drug of choice was, playing, hearing a crowd roar. You know, there was nothing like that roar coming out of the Lions' Den in a basketball game. There was nothing like a roar playing at Jasper in the regional or in the semi-state. When Danny Jones scored that winning run against Memorial and Coach Merkel, who this is his last year at Memorial, the roar that went up from our crowd was like a basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I chased that roar for the next 30 years.
Well, I remember that of just a little kid so well, and that's exactly right. I mean, we'd come off, of course, successful basketball tour. We thought we couldn't lose.
No.
Right.
You know, fans or players, you thought you couldn't lose, and we didn't.
Used to
but
win it.
That was unbelievable, and I wish that every team could experience that.
I want to add one thing, too, as to how close we came to the state. I was teasing Grindstaff just a little bit ago. I said, is your foot still sore from that ball hitting?
But we're going to have an amputation here before he leaves.
We're going to get the final story from the man himself, Mike Grindstaff.
Mike Grindstaff helped us get there.
Oh, yeah.
It was just an unfortunate and a missed call in my heart, but we don't have Mike Grindstaff, we don't get there. So he's not going to be our kicking dog today.
No. Well, you know, Mark Riggins obviously couldn't be here today, and Coach Nonte, I don't know if you saw this note or not, but I want to pass it along as he wanted us to, and I'll just read it. He says, for Mark Riggins, I wanted to send you a note about the reunion that you're holding this Saturday for the 73, 74, 82, and 83 teams. Recognition for the baseball program and its accomplishments over those past years is quite deserved, and I want to thank you personally for doing this event. That's to John Mullen. Now, I'm a proud, Mark Riggins says, to have been a part of the Loogootee baseball program, and I have fond memories of those past years. Being a member of the Loogootee Lions played a big part in my future in going to college at Murray State University and continuing my career as a professional player and coach. It was the teaching of fundamentals and hard work from Coach Tim Nonte and Coach Lee Kavanaugh that laid a foundation for what lay ahead for me in the future. Little did I know at that time how important I would need that foundation. I wish I could be there for the celebration, but this great game of baseball calls me to Florida to teach young players some of the groundwork that was given to me at Loogootee High School. That's quite a compliment to you guys.
Well, that's Mark. He's never forgot his roots.
Yeah.
And
guys, we're just about ready for senior day activities. Go ahead, Coach Kavanaugh.
Okay, only thing I can say, Mark had as good an attitude, the Loogootee attitude, just leave it like this, as any boy you would ever want to coach.